Hello, good evening, happy Monday. Welcome back to get your live weekly dose of real estate reality. My name is Jackie Baker. Thank you so much for coming on and joining me tonight to talk about all things real estate, this crazy, ridiculous housing market we've been dealing with for the past few years. And now it looks like it's going to get even more interesting now that the Feds raised interest rates again for the ninth time last week. So, how is this going to affect the housing market? What changes are going to come of this? Well, we're going to get into that tonight. And I have with me, I brought back Mr. Dylan Lee. Dylan is from Tampa, Florida. Come on, Dylan. Hey, Dylan, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing awesome, Jackie. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for coming back on. Really appreciate you being here. So, yeah, we got a lot to unpack.
Yes, we have the time. I don't know.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So now you're in Tampa.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this before we started, and Florida's still insane, right? You're still seeing like we said, the house is priced right. It's gone. That's what we're seeing here in New Jersey, and you're still seeing the same thing down there, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're saying. That's
right.
Exactly what we're saying. Yep.
Now, are the prices going way over asking in these bidding wars?
I wouldn't say way over, because 2021, beginning of 2022, that was something special.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term, there.
Yeah.
But I reasonably over.
Yeah.
But 10, 15, 20,000 in some instances, $50,000 over, all depending on the property.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay. Now you're obviously still having an inventory issue like we are up here.
Right. Yeah. I just checked earlier today. We're looking at right around 2 months of inventory.
Yeah, it's about where we're at too. It's ridiculous. But there are some homes that they're overpriced. They're going to sit. I am still seeing that, but man, like my town alone, which normally, it was funny, like 4 years ago, there would easily be like 70 homes on the market. And as of last week, there were 18 homes for sale. Oh my God. Like,
Wow.
What is that? I can't believe how low it's gotten. And I don't think it's going to get any better. So when I'm going to bring up the article that we're going to talk about, this inventory issue, I hate to say it, I think it's going to be around for a while because of these rates. So let me get into this now. Share screen. Here we go. Okay. So this is from Fannie Mae, which I thought was a pretty reliable source that we could talk about. So it says here, the banking system instability may prove catalyst for recession. Now, it's funny because the mortgage rates did take a dip even though the, what do you call it? The Feds raised the interest rates last week. We thought, oh, here we go. The housing market's going to get impacted, but no. Mortgage rates actually went down. So here's what Fannie Mae has to say about this. Now, where did I want to start? Okay. While home sales experienced a large bump in February following a pullback in mortgage rates, the ESR group, that's the group here. I'm going to go back and read that. Sorry.
Economic Strategic Research.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Okay. The ESR group noted that recent mortgage application data suggests that last month's level of home sales will be temporary. Additionally, the ESR group posts that ongoing banking instability may affect the availability of jumbo mortgages and residential construction loans due to the high concentration of those originations stemming from small and mid-sized banks. The ESR group expects home sales to remain subdued due to ongoing affordability constraints and the lock-in effect continuing to create a strong financial disincentive for homeowners to move. Yeah. So again, here we go with that. They're locked in. We got the golden, we have the golden handcuffs with those low interest rates. So now when the Feds made the announcement last week, and I'm posting my weekly video that's coming in on Wednesday. I'm actually talking about this. So there was speculation that they were gonna hold off on raising the interest rates because of the whole banking situation. But then they just said, you know what? We looked at the current inflation, we looked at the economy overall, and felt it was necessary because what the feds are anticipating is going to happen now. The banks are now going to tighten all their credit stuff, like all, you know, the when you're applying for a loan, like there's going to have all these additional restrictions being put on, which will force people not to spend. So that's their mindset. That was their thought process, and thinking that was going to assist also with helping inflation, that it's going to force people to pull back. I mean, how did you feel about that, Jill? And did you get that from that as well?
Yeah, yeah. So it was interesting. Right after the Fed made their announcement, Jerome Powell made that announcement. The 10-year Treasury yield went down a little bit, and essentially, if you just kind of follow the 10-year, you're
Yeah.
able to see what's going to happen with the housing mortgage rates,
Yes.
because they kind of mirror each other. So
Yep.
you've got the Fed rate, but then the 10-year Treasury. So if you can kind of follow that will be indicative of what's going on with mortgage rates. But yeah, I'm glad they didn't go full half basis point there.
Yeah.
Excuse
Yep.
me. But as I read that, yeah, fortunately, but unfortunately, the market data and the jobs reports, everything was better than what they wanted to.
Yeah.
And so, as just an average American, like looking at this, you got to think like, what does the Fed want to do here? They need to have weak economic data. They
Yeah.
need to have that, and maybe the canary in the coal mine is the collapse of the SVB bank, and maybe that's something like, okay, cool, we can kind of loosen up a little bit with because of what happened to SVB bank.
Yeah.
But until the economic numbers come back worse than what they are coming back at, I still see Jerome Powell and the Fed doing their thing.
Well, they did say they're only going to do they're going to do one more increase this year. So we're hoping this is the beginning of the end. But what the hope is now we're going to finally get thrown into a recession. So let me go back to this because I thought this is interesting. What Fannie Mae said. Let's see. You think I would mark these things, right? Okay. All right. Inflation has now been joined by financial stability concerns as threats to sustained growth. These particular pre-recessionary conditions are not unusual, as bank failures often follow monetary tightening. But this may well be the catalyst for the modest recession we've been expecting since April of 2022. So I think that was their goal, to get that. They finally had to kick it into high gear and get this recession going. Now, they also say here, the ESR group does not anticipate a repeat of the 2008 financial crisis. Instead, it believes the savings and loan crisis from the 1980s to be a better analog, specifically regarding the significant interest rate rises that set in motion banking system stress and the reluctant macroeconomic effects that contributed to a modest recession in 1991. The ESR group also highlighted downside risk to its interest rate forecast, as banking-related stress may slow the economy and relieve inflationary pressure, in effect relieving the Federal Reserve of potentially having to raise rates as high as previously expected. So I thought that was interesting that so hold on one second. I lost you. Here we go. So I think that was interesting because I'm glad that Fannie Mae said that this is not 2008, that this is more of the 1980s situation. As a matter of fact, a few loan officers that I do business with said the same thing. So again, we go back to the fear mongering, that if you see any videos out there that are talking about we're done, the market's done, it's not.
It's clickbait.
So totally. I mean, this weekend. So there's an agent, another Coldwell Banker agent. She's in another office up here in Bergen County. She actually posted on her Instagram. She was at an open house this weekend and waited online for 45 minutes.
Right.
Yeah. So we're still The housing is not crashing. It's not. But hopefully this will force people to pull back a little bit. But I don't know. I think that, but I think this rate drop that just happened, I think it might be temporary. I don't see this going down into the fives
No,
anytime soon. That's my gut.
no, yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, but
Nobody does.
I don't. It's not in 2023. Maybe end of 2024, maybe.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't see it going back into the fives for a while.
No, I don't either. And a lot of people are speculating that it's going to be this way for a while.
Mhm.
But it's not holding buyers back, you know?
No. You can only sit on the sidelines for so long.
I know. I know, but now like mortgage applications were up a lot like over the past 3 weeks, because we had that little lull with the rates dipped, but it's like, okay, everyone's getting pre-approved, there's nothing to buy.
Right.
But I don't know, it's just like I feel like we're just it's such a state of stagnation. And I think that's how this market's going to be, you know?
Yeah, it's almost like a cold war, so to speak, of
Mhm.
real estate.
Yeah.
Who's going to give first, the buyers or the sellers?
Yes, yes, that's right. That's so true. Oh my God, yes. I agree. That's like such a perfect way to put it. The Cold War. I think we need to start a series, the Cold War of real estate. There you go.
You,
That'd be
you
good.
know, full transparency, I didn't come up with that. Actually, Byron Lazine, I think, with BAM came up with that a while back, and it's just
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So credit where credit is due.
Okay.
But yeah,
All right. Thanks, Dylan. Okay,
yeah,
cool. No, but that was but it's true. It's so
yeah,
true. I don't think it's gonna we're gonna get to standstill for the rest of the year. And
yeah,
it's really frustrating.
yeah.
So let me see. Do we have Johnny? Do we have any comments here? Hello, John. Thank you. Hey, Dom, what's going on? What is happening? Thanks for being back here. I'm reading more and more articles about folks getting called back into the office. If true, what would be the repercussions? Well, I don't know. I mean, I could see people actually, what I'm finding now, people want to work remotely. So I think they're going to go and look for jobs where they can work remotely. Like my husband's job, his company, they're all 100% remote. And honestly, he's not a fan of it. Like he's old school. He likes to be physically in the office, like talking people face to face. This Zoom thing is just not his thing, but he's doing it. Um, you know what? I think like for here in Jersey, it's not going to make that much of a difference because we still have people coming here from New York City anyway, and they just find it easy. They'll find a way to commute from Jersey to the city. But for people who flocked here to go down to Florida, I could just see them trying to get another job. I don't think that's gonna. I don't think it's gonna affect anything. I mean, what do you think, Dylan?
Yeah, I really, I don't see much. I don't see much effect at all. I would say more so that's going to be something interesting if people don't return back to the office. What's going to happen with all this commercial real estate that's just sitting there?
Oh yeah,
And
that too.
that could have some consequences down the road, especially in more cities that rely on that economic boost of people coming into the office. But as far as right now, residential home sales, I don't really see that having much of an effect,
Yeah.
really on anything. Not yet, at least.
But to add to that, what you're saying, like the commercial real estate, I think what could end up happening is they could convert those into like apartments or
Yeah.
condos, right? If there's such a shortage of houses right now, they could end up doing that.
Yeah, if you can get the zoning switched up quick enough, and
Yep.
hopefully you've got local city government or board that is light on the toes that can make that changes quick. I
Yeah.
can see that absolutely happening, especially if we're in an affordable housing crisis, for sure.
Yes. I just hope they don't make them into rentals. That's my only fear because I think that's the goal. Like a lot of builders now are building the multi-unit places because
Right,
they're seeing people would rent because they can't afford to buy a house. So
right.
that's an issue. So, or somebody has a comment here. Oh, I think we got somebody new. Fluffer Pope. Hi. I'd honestly just leave my job if they try to make us go back to the office. Yeah, you and a lot of people feel that way because it's, we've gotten so used to it. It's convenient. It's a new way. It's just, look, the pandemic changed a lot. You know, some things will just, I don't know. Some things will never be the same. And I think working from home, I think this is going to be the new norm. Thank God the kids went back to school, because if we had to do remote learning forever, oh my God, I would shoot myself. I can't. I mean, when the kids were home from school, like they had to do the remote learning, that sucked.
I never had to experience that, but my kids are in daycare now, and if we had to do remote daycare, I'd probably have less hair on top and more gray right here. It wouldn't be good.
You would. Yeah, try dealing with high schoolers, trying to get them to go to, oh my God, it was a nightmare. It was so hard to get them motivated. And then, the unfortunate thing was, my kids would tell me that kids would be cheating. They would taking tests and stuff. Oh yeah, and then kids are going on Google or going to look at their notes. It's like, come on, it's a sad thing is kids suffered academically. I've been hearing reports about that kids definitely have fallen behind during that whole period with the remote learning. It doesn't work. But working from home, it does work. It does work for a lot of people. So and think about it, it saves companies a lot of money. They don't have to pay the overhead, right? To have an office. So I don't know, Dom, I know that people are calling back and people are getting called back to the office, but I don't know. Should be interesting to see what happens. But anyway, so let me just go back to this really quick. All right. Just want to go back to make sure I'm not missing anything. So, okay. They go on to say here, home sales experienced a large bump in February following a pullback in mortgage rates. The ESR Group noted the recent mortgage application data suggests that last month's level of home sales will be temporary. Additionally, the ESR Group, I read this already. Inflation, let me see. I'm sorry, I'm so off tonight. Okay, yeah, so he says here to sum this up. While housing writ large has responded to the Fed's monetary tightening in a relatively predictable fashion, the rapid uptick in home sales in response to modest rate declines early this year corroborates our longstanding expectation that the housing sector will moderate any future recession due to the significant pent-up demand. That's the thing. We have too much demand. So there, I said it.
Yeah.
Way too much demand. And then there was another thing I wanted to bring up too. I found this article interesting. Hold on one second. So this one was from Realtor.com. Now they're saying here, okay, is the calm before the mortgage rate storm? Here's why home buyers should hurry. I love this. They're telling people hurry up and buy, but there's nothing to buy. So let's see. For the week ending March 23rd, the nationwide average for the popular 30-year fixed rate mortgage was 6.42%. That's down from last week, and it's the lowest level in more than a month. It's a small reprieve and much needed break for home buyers, but don't look for it to last. When the Fed raises rates, mortgage rates usually rise in kind, but not really. We already debunked that. Economic conditions will keep upward pressure on rates. This will continue to present an affordability challenge for buyers and may keep some sellers who are locked in lower rates waiting on the sidelines. Now, it goes on to say home prices are plateauing. Although home prices are still inching up, they're starting to level off. For the week ending March 18th, listing prices were 6.3% higher than this same week a year earlier. That's insane that it's higher this week, this time last year, than it was this time last year. That's insane. This remains the lowest sale price growth rate since June 2020. Interest rates are expected to remain elevated in the near term, which implies that home prices may continue to soften this spring season. Now it goes on to say home sellers still aren't listing. Tapering home price will come as welcome news to buyers, but sellers are understandably displeased, and it shows in a dwindling number of new listings. Every week for the past 9 months, there have been fewer homes listed for sale than in the same period a year ago, and the week ending March 18th was no exception. Now look at this. The number of homes for sale is at half pre-pandemic levels. This may come to a surprise for many frustrated would-be homebuyers, but there's actually more homes available for sale out there now than in 2022. In fact, total housing inventory is up 59% compared to a year earlier. But these listings have been languishing on the market, spending an average of 18 days longer than a year ago. If you take in the bigger picture, inventory might be up from a year ago, but is down, way down from pre-pandemic days where there were 50% more homes on the market. That is insane when you think about that.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack in just those few paragraphs there. So if you could actually bring the article back, the one chart that they had
Yep,
that
hold
had
on.
listings down, but time on market up.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm all over the board. Where'd you go? Okay.
Just scroll up a little bit there.
Where? Down or up?
Up. Yeah, scroll up. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, right here. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's pretty indicative of what we were talking about earlier, where if the home is, that's going active for sale, if it's, a good home, right, shows well,
Yeah.
priced well, in an area where people want to be, it's going to go.
Yeah.
It's absolutely going to sell. But if
Absolutely.
it doesn't really meet, those check boxes, it's going to sit.
Yep.
It is absolutely going to sit. And so the homes that are sitting, still available, are the ones that everyone else kind of discarded for one reason or another. And that's why, you're also still seeing people line up for 45 minutes to an hour at these open houses.
I know.
Those houses are the ones that are a good product.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. But that just that number kills me. 50% less than it was on the market prior to the pandemic. So from 2019, 2018, like, oh my God, that's just really scary, really scary. But I don't know how we're going to make that up. Like, I don't like, how do you recover from that? Unless the rates go much lower. Now all these people are locked in. I just talked to a potential buyer last week. They have to sell. They're outgrowing their townhouse, but they refinanced their loan in 21. They got a 3% interest rate.
Right.
And I said, it would be ideal if you can hang on to it and rent it out. But she's like, yeah, we can't. We really, we have to sell in order to buy. Like, oh my God, this is going to be, it's really hard. It's really hard. All right, Johnny, we have some more comments out here. What do we got? Fallen Angels. Is it even worth putting down an offer in these times if you can't afford to put 20% down? South Orange, Maplewood area. I'm going to be honest with you. If it's like Dylan and I are saying, if it's a house is priced well, it's a hot house, you're going to need 20%. I hate to say it. Look, you can try, I've done it. I've helped people where they put down 10% and have gotten the house if they offered the right price. So you can try it, but I'm just managing your expectation. That's just how it is now in Jersey. And I feel horrible saying that, but it is what it is. All right, Johnny, what else we got? Hello, Hector. Welcome back. No offense, but I hope they all get forced back to the office. Community New York City and back to Jersey will add hours to their commute alone, forcing them back in New York City and selling their homes here. Yeah, Hector, I don't think they're going to be moving back. Honestly, I don't see that happening. Although it may. I have heard stories of people moving out here from the city who are just like, oh my God, it was like culture shock, and they did end up moving back. But I think for the most part, I don't know if they would force them back. All right. I see a comment from Mr. Dom. Dom's from Tampa, by the way. Disheartened Tampa buyer might be forced to leave Tampa because the local salaries just aren't meeting current prices. You know what, Dylan? We were just talking about that. So what do you, any words of wisdom for Dom?
Words of wisdom? Dom, give me a call, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it stinks. It really stinks. I feel for you. I really do. Yeah, we were just talking about that before we got on. The cost of living here in Tampa has gone up significantly. It
Yeah.
has, it really has, and it's forced a lot of folks that were in Tampa to look and expand elsewhere. Like you're still in the greater Tampa Bay area, but maybe not within Tampa proper. I have clients that have moved up to Ocala, and they've lived in Hillsborough County, pretty much their entire life. So they've moved up north to horse country, or they've gone east, or they Georgia even. I've heard of folks going. But
Wow.
yeah, I wouldn't say it's a common thing, but I've had more than one conversation with a family that is the reason why they're selling.
So it's cheaper to go to Georgia than stay in Tampa.
I'd say so. Yeah. The amount
Oh
of
my
investment,
God.
the amount of investment that's coming into Tampa. You just now, it's slipping my head now, but the most successful hedge fund just opened up an office in Tampa. It's
Really?
yeah. It's so the city
Wow.
itself has gotten a lot of investment, which is for tourism, I guess it's great. Um, but it is pricing out a lot of people that have been here their entire lives.
And what are the property taxes down there?
High.
Okay. Like what's high? Come on,
Yeah,
let's have
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
contest. What's
yeah.
high?
Right. So I think our taxes, including CDD, I think maybe 13,000 a year.
Really?
I think we pay. I think it's about 13,000 a year
That's town and school taxes, like you're paying municipality and
and
schools, right?
everything. Yeah, yeah. So
Wow.
out in the county. So I'm in Lithia, or Fishhawk is the community that I live in. I believe our taxes are 13,000.
Holy cow. Oh my God.
I
I
want to
was not
say.
expecting that at all.
Yeah, I
Not
can tell
expect
you right now.
That's like that's like Jersey taxes. Like that's crazy. Well, the Jerseys in some areas they're higher than that. I mean, I think I pay 13,000, but oh my God, that's just surprising for Florida.
Yeah, yeah, not all parts of Florida are like that.
Right.
And so I have a CDD as well, and so that gets lumped into our taxes.
What is that? The CD? What is that you're
Yes,
referring to?
so the CDD, it's basically like an HOA, but it
Oh,
pays for all of the amenities within your
oh,
community. So my,
okay,
my monthly HOA is like $35, right?
okay.
It's cheap. The CDD is what takes care of the pools, certain
Oh,
roads,
okay.
the retention ponds, the trees, all that jazz is your CDD.
Got it.
And so it can um, so if you live in an HOA, then you likely have a CDD as well.
Okay. All
What
right.
it comes down to,
So
and
the
it's
CD, so how much is the CDD? So then your HOA is like 35, you said, or am I, wait,
mhm,
and then
yeah.
the CDD is how much then per month?
I think I want to say $100 a month
Oh my God, that's nothing.
to $100 a month. Yeah, I am going to look it up now,
Okay.
because I just looked at it and it hurt me. It
That's
really hurt.
nothing. That's nothing.
Okay, so yeah, 13,000 for everything, taxes,
And
CDD.
then your CDD and HOA. Okay. So if you take that, the HOA and the CDD, so you're probably paying like 11 and change,
Yeah,
right? In taxes. But
yeah,
still, oh my God. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised at that. That's Jersey taxes. That's actually so my town where I am, believe it or not, my town, we have like, we're considered one of the low tax towns in Bergen County. Like you go to other parts of Bergen County, you can pay upwards to like 20,000 or more in property taxes. It's ridiculous. Um, but man, because there's got to be other parts of Florida that are lower than that.
most.
Most are. So it's
Most
just
most parts of Florida are lower than this.
even places like Miami, I would imagine Miami's expensive.
I'd say Miami's probably pretty high.
Okay.
I'm not too privy on their tax code or really
Right.
how expensive it is.
Okay.
But yeah, Hillsborough County, it just seems like it's just becoming more and more expensive.
God.
Um, but you know, so when way back then in the day when I lived up north, I paid a lot in taxes, but I also didn't really get much. At least down here, I do feel like the roads are not bad.
Hmm.
The streets are clean. The amenities are great.
Right.
So I do feel like I pay,
Yep.
um, I kind of get
Yeah.
back.
Good. Okay, so you're getting what you pay for. So, well, that's how I felt too when I moved to Bergen County because everyone's like, "Are you crazy? It's the taxes and whatever." I'm like, "Yeah, but it is a little bit better." The schools are definitely that's what we're paying for. The schools.
Right.
You go anywhere like in this county where I'm at, like especially northern Bergen County, it's you're paying for the schools. That's bottom line. So, you get what you pay for, right? So, but that's really interesting. Holy cow. So, all right. Now, you're seeing the same thing I'm seeing with this market. The rates came back down a little bit. Do you still feel that like you said before, it's not going to change, right? I think we're like do you think it's going to go to the end of the year? We're going to be in this kind of a market?
Um,
Like
I
what's
don't
your
know,
gut telling
but
you? You don't know. I
what
know we don't have a
what
crystal
I
ball, but
what I do think is gonna happen is, um, buyers are gonna be I think the first side to make a move are gonna be the buyers. Um
yeah.
and say, like, at some point you just got to buy. If you need to buy, you will buy.
Yep.
And I hate to say there's no such thing as a bad market. The market is what it is,
Yes.
and so now you just need to kind of adjust your game plan, adjust your strategy, and maybe level set your expectations for what it is that's out there. And if we do see more people out there participating in the market, hopefully sellers will see that as a sign like, okay, there's actually more buyers out there. Let me
Yep.
see, let me test the waters here a little bit.
Exactly.
Um, I think that's how it's gonna happen, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yep. Yeah, I think so. I think it's I say it every week. I think it's gotta the rates have to come to a certain point where it's gonna be enough incentive for for the sellers to list, right? Because if they gotta trade up or trade down, it has to make financial sense for them, especially
Yeah,
if they're locked in at, an interest rate below 4%. So, as I say every week, they have so much equity in their house right now, they can take the money, they'll be able to put more down on the next place.
right.
Especially if you're moving out of state, right? So if you're moving out of out of the Northeast, although I don't know, going to Florida is probably about the same as living up here. Good God.
I will tell you, you still get more bang for the buck down here
Oh,
for
I'm
sure.
sure. I'm
For
sure you
sure,
do.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you get, like, newer, nicer homes. I mean, like, for
Yeah, oh yeah,
500,000 up here, you're getting something that you need to need some serious renovation. Like, yeah, it's pretty bad, and we don't have that much new construction up here either. There's nowhere to build.
right.
But I think it's getting that interest rate to the tipping point. So I think now, what Fannie Mae is saying and what the experts are saying, that they don't think these rates are gonna, like, really budge much lower than, like, say, 6.5 or even get below 6%. I think we're in the stagnation market right now. I think it's gonna be this way for a while, and I hate saying that, and I hate disappointing people, but
Yeah.
I think that's the reality we're in right now until we get into this recession. Once the recession comes in, then the rates can come back down, but I don't know. Like you were saying before, the jobs are still strong,
Mhm.
right? There's still the like it's like, come on, let's kick this into high gear and make some changes so things can move. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, eh,
It's tough. It's almost like that children's book. If you give a mouse a cookie,
oh
then he's gonna want. It's just like one thing, then another, and then
yeah,
another, and another, and it's
yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, but here it is 9 times they've raised the interest rates and
yeah,
we're still here. We're still here. But let's hope now this whole the banking situation and my concern is though if more banks fail Because I guess there's rumors that there's other banks, like, mid-sized banks that are like teetering right now. So,
Yeah, I try to read as much as I can on it, and I'm sure you're just like me, where we only have
mhm.
so many hours in a day.
Yep.
Part of me is wondering like, how much of that is fear mongering, with against some of the smaller banks that
Yeah.
maybe do have a clean balance. Like they did business right,
Yep.
um, and so like who knows? Because before now, what folks were saying is, hey, if you want to really get the best products, these mid-level banks, these credit unions, they have some of the best products out there.
Yeah.
And now the script has flipped a little bit. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Unfortunately, we just need to have some bad economic data for probably two consecutive quarters
Yeah.
until we'll begin to see some change in mortgage interest rates
Yep.
that are
Now,
more conducive.
yes. Yeah, you're right. So I don't know. I just feel like I come on here every week and I talk about the same thing. Like, can we have some good news?
Right.
Anyway, all right. So Dylan, I don't know if you're aware of my new segment because I
Uh-oh.
didn't
No.
do this the last time you were here.
Oh, no.
So, so I'm going to bring up some bad MLS photos. You ready to see them?
Oh,
John,
yes. I am
You
ready for this
ready? All right, this is fun. And this is called What Were They Thinking?
segment.
So, all right, John, let's bring
Yeah.
so we're going with the little theme here. Take a guess what the theme is. John, pull up the first one, please. We got the Grinch there.
Oh.
So I found this one online. By the way, I don't know if you ever go on Facebook. It's called Zillow Gone Wild, and they have or Nightmare on Zillow Street. Like it came from one of those two pages. So they show people find these bad photos online on Zillow. And they
Oh my
post them on
gosh.
the
Was
group.
there a fire?
Yeah. So look at this. So I love that they show that. Like, is this showing this is the Grinch's house? Okay, John, go to the next one. Look at this. Holy cow. It's like the
Oh,
Grinch, right?
no.
They look at the tablecloth on there. It's like
Oh, it's Christmas.
it's
Oh,
so
no.
they had like Christmas dinner and then they're like, "All right, we gotta go." They just left it. I mean, I don't know if that was a fire or what, but what I need to know is why, for the love of God, do we have to post these pictures like this? John, what's the next? Show me the next one. And I love this. I had to show this part too. Don't you love that? The Merry Christmas, the stocking hanging
Oh,
there. That's just awesome. Like, yeah. Does that feel
oh
homey to
my.
you? That feels homey. It definitely would make my make me want to tear that thing down. Can you believe that?
I just, maybe it's uh the sympathetic side of me. I just hope that whatever family was here
I
during the house
know.
fire, it seems like I guess it happened right around Christmas time. Hopefully they're safe, like in a new house for Christmas. But
Right. Absolutely. But
dang,
the thing is, why are we showing these pictures?
yeah, there's no need for
Would
this.
you ever? I would
No.
never ever do that. I would just show the exterior of the house and then and tell people house needs a lot of work. Like, no,
Although,
check out this next one. Johnny, pull the next one up. You see the outline of the stocking? That looks like smoke.
oh my gosh, yeah,
Why would you do that?
that's
Again,
not the angle photo you want.
what were they thinking? Again, like, why would you do that? Why? I don't get it. I just don't. So I shake my head every day when I see these pictures. So that was our segment of what were they thinking. So as a real estate agent, like when I see these pictures, I'm like, do not do that. Do not do now. Some of them are funny, some of them do like pretty stupid things,
Yeah, yeah.
but eh, that like why would you do that?
You know,
I would never show those pictures. Never. I would just exterior and just say the house needs a lot of work and, wear boots and whatever and be careful going through the home. And
can
can you
I admit something here?
what?
And I'm really sorry for this.
What?
So we just closed.
Yeah.
I had a listing of a home that had been sitting vacant for a long time, and the interior was not good,
Okay.
and we didn't upload any interior photos. None at all.
Okay.
But when we went live, I had so many people inquire about the photos. So many people.
Okay.
I think in 1 week we had almost 40 showings for this particular property. And so I posted the pictures online. I
Okay.
went inside, I took pictures. There was food everywhere, furniture tipped up every which way.
Really?
What looked like stuff I couldn't even begin to describe. I'll
So
show you
did
I'll send you the pictures.
send me the picture. So listen, did that like this so did those people want to see the house even though you had those pictures out there?
They did. People, so it was an
Interesting.
investor that bought it, but it
Of
got to a
course.
point to where I had so many inquiries about the interior of this home. I was like, I'm just going to put them up there, and hopefully that will deter people that will see it and be like, I can't get into this house, and will really only bring forth solid buyers, which fortunately that strategy paid off.
Good for
Uh,
you.
but
Yeah.
I was posting them and I was thinking like, I better not end up on one of those websites.
Can you imagine? Imagine if I showed up, it was one of your pictures, like, oops, sorry.
I'll send you the pictures after
Yeah, I
this.
would love
I'll
to.
send you the pictures, and I'm willing to bet it'll probably end up on the next episode of
It probably will, but that's okay. I'll give you credit. It's all
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
But no, but it did work for you. Like a lot of
It worked.
cases, people just would run away from it, right? But
Yeah.
look, in your case, it brought in a solid investor. So,
We priced it right. Like with anything, we priced it right.
yep,
Yeah, it actually ended up going for over ask, believe it or not.
of course it did. Of
I'll,
course it
I'll,
did.
I'll
Yes.
show you the pictures, and we'll talk more
Yeah.
about it off the internet.
Oh, no, make sure they don't get out there on Zillow.
I
All
know.
right. Dom has another question. John, can you pull that up? What do y'all think will happen with the future property insurance in Florida? Hmm.
Yeah. So, I think only good news moving forward with property insurance. So basically, as Dom as you're probably aware, maybe the folks that aren't familiar with the Florida insurance issues here. So in Florida, we've got big issues with fraud. I think we're the #1 state for fraud, and you also have these unscrupulous, allegedly dishonest roofing companies that go around and anytime there's a windstorm will come around and say, hey, I notice you have damage to your roof, we can fix it for you, and we'll handle the insurance company on your behalf. But what you're doing, and in Florida, what you used to be able to do, I think they just passed a law, I believe, that you can't do this anymore. But in Florida, you used to be able to assign your benefits, right, of the
Okay.
insurance claim to another party.
Okay.
Okay. And so then what would happen is you would essentially assign away your right to the benefits from the insurance company to the roofing company or whatever, or whoever, and they would, do the work. You'd file the claim. And if the insurance company paid out to the roofing company, great. If they didn't pay or didn't pay enough, there was a lawsuit. And so then all these insurance companies were just overwhelmed with all these claims, all these lawsuits. And
Right.
so, yeah, you got a new roof for maybe, $1,000, which was your deductible, but now you're getting dropped. Or
Oh,
now the insurance
wow.
company is leaving the state altogether. And Citizens Insurance, which was just supposed to be the backstop to all of this, now I think insures most of the state. I believe someone might want to fact check me on that. In which that's not what they're meant to be. So the legislatures in Tallahassee, I think, if I remember correctly, they got rid of your ability to assign your benefit away. And with that, hopefully we see less and less of these unscrupulous claims that
Right.
are just weighing down the insurance companies and causing
Right.
everyone to either cut bait and leave the state or increase your rates significantly.
I didn't realize that was such a problem down there.
It's a huge problem. I
Wow.
think, maybe there's just a handful of insurance companies. So like up in Jersey, you've got everybody, right?
Yeah, right.
All the insurance companies. And if you
Yeah.
have a special house, I'm sure he sold homes that are much larger and probably super expensive, and maybe they didn't fit in the standard market, so they went to excess and surplus lines.
Right.
But we just don't really have as many options down here because of all of that, and also it doesn't help that we've got hurricanes that come through.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. So your insurance, that must be so super expensive down there.
Yeah, it's not low. It's
God.
definitely not low. Just for an example, so like if this house was up north, it'd probably be about $1,400 for the house I live in. My insurance would probably be about $1,400. Here, I want to say my insurance is $6,000 a year.
Holy cow.
I think it's 6,000, maybe like 5,500, something along those lines.
Whoa. I think
I
we pay
think.
like 1,300 or something like that. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just like blown away with all the Florida information, your taxes, your insurance. Like, oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, but also my roof is older, so I got to get a new roof.
Right.
But it's actually not even old. It's from 2008. So
That's not that old.
it's not, but in Florida speak, it's old. Yeah.
Really? Oh my
Yeah.
God. See, a roof up here from 2008, that's like, oh, that's like practically brand new.
No,
Really?
yeah, my roof might as well be a dinosaur.
Oh my
It might as
God.
well be a dinosaur.
Well,
Yeah.
well, I would imagine because of the weather down there and it's in the sun all the time and all the, like, I'm sure that's probably, but don't you have the 25 years shingles? Like, I don't understand. I'm so used to that up here, like the lifespan is 25 to 30 years, the types of shingles that they use.
Yeah, we do. But we also have rainy season. We've got strong storms.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Not all roofs, have I think they're hurricane straps and things like that. So
Yeah.
yeah. But
Wow.
Dom, to answer your question, I think I'm gonna be optimistic here with the future of property insurance here in Florida. As far as I can tell, only good things, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, it's so I wish if I had a crystal ball, I wouldn't be selling real estate. I say that all the time. If I was psychic, I wouldn't be here. I mean, nobody knows what's going to happen, but wow, God, I learned a lot tonight about Florida with the cost. Holy cow. So I can only imagine what the flood insurance. Now you also have flood insurance. I mean, I don't think you pay, but anyone on the coast, they have to pay flood insurance on top
Yeah.
of that. Yeah. Yeah. We have flood insurance up here, like flood zones up like in northern Jersey. There's certain areas where especially after Superstorm Sandy.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of new areas that ended up on the FEMA maps, and now people have to pay flood insurance. That gets super expensive. But
Right.
yeah, but mostly on obviously by the shore on the coast, you're gonna have a lot more of that. But oh God, I can't believe you're paying. Oh my God.
It's a lot.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
be like this all night. Like, pay that much in Florida for insurance? Oh my God. But
Yeah,
I guess it makes
insurance,
sense.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
high. It's high.
Yeah.
But actually, it's interesting you say about the flood insurance. I have a contact in the flood insurance world, and he has made it his mission to be essentially like the flood insurance guru,
Mhm.
to the point to where this guy knows more about flood insurance and mapping than I think FEMA does. And so
Really?
he has been able to get FEMA to change their coding on particular properties where
Really?
people said, hey, FEMA says this is AE. I don't think this is AE. I
Right.
think, we should be an X.
Yeah.
And more than one a time, he's been able to get FEMA to switch it up.
Oh,
And I can pass you his contact
oh,
info.
that would be great. He's a good that's a good person to know for sure.
A great person to know.
Yeah.
And he just makes it his life mission
Oh, that's
to do
awesome.
flood insurance. Yeah.
That's his job? Like, that's what he does for a living?
Yeah, he owns an insurance agency, And his niche that he kind of fell into is flood insurance, and just learned as much as possible. And now he actually teaches like CE courses on it,
Oh,
travels the
cool.
country talking about flood insurance and mapping and all this other stuff.
Oh God, yeah. Send me his name because
I
if I ever
will.
run into that situation, which I do sometimes, because sometimes it'll say in the listing, it'll say it's in the flood zone, but it's not. Like owner doesn't pay flood insurance, but like it's like right on the cusp of being in a flood zone, and
Right.
yeah. So that would be helpful. So, anywho, oh my God, we've been here for almost an hour, Dylan. Holy cow,
Have time
time
flies.
flies.
Yeah.
So, Dylan, where can everybody find you? I know you have a YouTube channel. I will put the link below
Yep.
this video. What's the name of your channel?
Yep. The name of the channel is at Sell the Golf.
Yep. That's right.
Yep,
Sell the
Sell
Golf.
the Golf. I do blogging as well at sellthegolf.com. I try to do one article every week.
Cool.
Yeah. And I just came out with an ebook as well.
Really?
Yes, the top 100 things that you can do to maximize your sales price on your home. And so I can send you the link so
I
all your
would be
followers
happy
can
to
have
promote that for you. Yeah, I'll
they can
definitely.
get a free ebook download. I think you can buy it on Amazon for like $1.99, but I'll give you the link for the free download.
Yeah, please
Um,
do.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll definitely put that on here. That's awesome. That is so great. Thank you.
thank you.
All right, so if anybody needs to contact an agent in Tampa, definitely reach out to Dylan. He's your guy. And if anybody needs to reach me, if you're looking to move to New Jersey, you need a referral, you can go onto my website. That link is also will be down below. It's JackieBakerSellsNJ.com. Scroll down to the bottom. There is a form, a contact form. You fill out your information, and I will respond back to you within 24 hours. So this is great, Dylan. Thank you so much for coming back.
You.
I really appreciate you being here. It was a good conversation. I'm curious to see where the market goes from here. We'll see.
All good things. Put the energy out there. All good things,
It is
Jackie.
all good things eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will. It will be all good things. And just a heads up to everybody, I will not be here next week. I'm going to be off next week. It's spring break up here in Jersey. So Mama's got to take a little break. I'm going to be getting out of Dodge for a few days. So, but I will be returning on April 10th. So you all have a wonderful week. Dylan, thank you again for being here. It's been a pleasure. And I will see everybody next time. Everybody have a great week.
See ya.
All right. Take care.